Ever feel like your brain has way too many tabs open at once? Yeah, me too. Well, if you've ever felt that way, you were in exactly the right place. We're about to dig into why having a ton of different interests isn't some flaw you need to fix, but actually, it might just be your greatest strength. Does this look familiar? One week you're diving headfirst into learning how to code, the next you're obsessed with ancient history, and then by the weekend you've bought a ukulele. It can make you feel kind of scattered, maybe a little frustrated, right? Wondering why you can't just pick one thing and stick to it like everyone else seems to. But what if that feeling, that confusion, isn't a weakness at all? What if it's a sign of something totally different? This one idea, right here, it changes everything. What feels like confusion today is actually a brain designed for tomorrow's economy. Let that sink in. Your brain isn't broken. It's just built for a future that's only now starting to take shape. So, how is your brain actually wired? Well, it turns out that this tendency to jump from interest to interest isn't some bug in your system. It's not distraction. It's a core feature of your design. You know, psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called openness to experience. It's one of the core personality traits, and it's directly linked to being super curious, super creative, and learning new things incredibly fast. Sound like anyone you know? It means your brain is fundamentally wired to hunt for new ideas and make new connections. And here's the really cool brain chemistry behind it. Your brain's reward system, the one that runs on dopamine, it doesn't get a kick out of repeating the same old tasks. No, it lights up when you discover something new. You get a little chemical reward every time you explore a new idea, which is exactly why you're always on the lookout for the next thing to learn. I mean, think about it. Has this ever happened to you? You get really into a subject, you learn all the basics, you get pretty decent at it, and then boom, it feels like almost overnight that burning passion just fizzles out. You start to feel restless, ready for a new challenge. Well, that's just your dopamine system going, all right, got it, what's next? So this is where we have to totally reframe our thinking. The myth, the story we tell ourselves, is that we lack focus. But the reality? The reality is you have a brain that learns and grows so fast, it just outpaces its environment. That restless feeling isn't a sign you failed, it's a signal that you're ready for the next level of growth. Okay, so how does all this brain science stuff translate into actual real-world skills? Well, this kind of wiring does a lot more than just make you a great person to have on your trivia team. It's literally the foundation of an innovator's mindset. The first superpower you have is something called associative thinking, and it's basically the ability to see connections that other people just miss. Because your brain has been collecting all these bits of information from so many different fields, it can draw lines between them, mashing up ideas to create something completely new. Here's a simple way to think about how that works. A specialist, they might see a problem only through the lens of, say, business. But you've dabbled in art and business and psychology. So you're the one who can see how a design principle from art could totally revolutionize a business strategy using a psychological insight. That is where real innovation comes from. And all this very learning builds another crucial superpower, cognitive flexibility. It's like mental gymnastics, the ability to pivot, adapt, and look at a problem from a bunch of different angles. Think of it this way. When a specialist hits a wall, they might just get stuck. But you're used to switching mental gears all the time. When one path is blocked, you can pull from your other interests to find a totally different way around the problem. And in a world that is constantly changing, that kind of flexibility is basically gold. And all of this, it all points to one really powerful idea. You're not behind the curve. You've actually been ahead of it this whole time. The world is finally starting to catch up to your natural way of thinking. See, the career paths of the past were all about being linear. They were built for single-track specialists who worked in really rigid systems. But the future? People are calling it the M-shaped future, and it favors hybrid experts, nonlinear careers, and flexible environments. In other words, it's a world that's practically tailor-made for you. So what exactly is an M-shaped person? It's not about being a jack of all trades, master of none, not at all. It's about becoming a master of more than one thing. You go deep in a couple of different areas, and you create this unique peak of expertise right where those different skills overlap. I mean, just think about the incredible power combos this creates. Someone who really understands both design and data, they can create products that aren't just beautiful, but are also incredibly effective. Or someone who combines amazing writing skills with a deep understanding of psychology. They can craft messages that truly connect with people. These are the unique skill sets that are going to solve the complex problems of the future. So this all means it is time to embrace your path. Really, stop seeing your interests as scattered and random and start seeing them as a strategic advantage. That unique collection of passions you have isn't random at all. It's a blueprint. And hey, if you've ever felt like a square peg in a round hole, there's a really good reason why. Most of our systems, from school all the way up to the traditional corporate ladder, they were built for that old straight line model. They just weren't designed for minds like yours that grow in multiple directions at once. It was never a you problem. It was always a system problem. All those interests you've picked up, all those weird rabbit holes you've gone down, that is not a flaw. It's the raw material. It's your unique blueprint for building an amazing career that's perfectly suited for this M-shaped future. So the final question really is for you. Stop asking yourself which interest you have to give up. Start asking yourself how you can connect them in new ways. Now that you see your interests as a blueprint, what unique and amazing thing are you going to build?